All right, so it is official. Ayanna Pressley, Just Democrat, is the winner. And Capuano, a good man, a good progressive incumbent, has lost. And that's, as I've been saying all night, the exact situation you want. You want two progressives running against each other in a very blue district in a very blue state. So Capuano had a good career, a lot of great votes, and usually a leader for progressives, not just a follower. He had a very good career, but Ayanna Pressley, a dynamic, uncorrupted Justice Democrat, came up and ran a fantastic campaign and has won that race. So that's Massachusetts 7th District. Ayanna Pressley is the winner. Justice Democrats go 1 for 2 tonight. Only 2 candidates in Massachusetts, and Ayanna has won. About the usual batting average, or around 50%, which for a group that's only been around for a year and a half is amazing. And for a group that takes a lot of chances on people like Ocasio-Cortez and Ayanna Pressley, it's a fantastic average. I'm sure that Politico will say, Justice Democrats lost one today. No, by the way, they barely even talk about it. They like attacking our revolution because it's connected to Bernie Sanders. They don't like to talk much about the Justice Democrats, but sad day for them. Given how many victories there's been, it's becoming a little unavoidable.
So before you even said that, I already looked up Politico to see what they were saying. And their headline is just Pressley takes down incumbent Dem Capuano. But they do have the first sentence is the progressive left crowned its latest star Tuesday.
Okay,
well, I'll tell you, Capuano does take corporate money, and a lot of it. So, and I'm looking right here at Open Secrets, and he took from lawyers and law firms 18 grand from PACs, 50 grand from real estate PACs, 85 grand from a leadership PAC, insurance PAC 62 grand, transportation 65,000. So he's taken PAC money.
That's certainly an improvement.
So listen,
so this is better.
Yeah, by definition, Ayanna's better. I mean, it's not an accident that Just Democrats endorsed her. They think she's deeply progressive and uncorrupted. That makes a giant difference. Now, Capuano is a rare guy that they talk about in Washington and almost doesn't exist, where he takes their money and votes against them. Like that's like an old saying, if you're not a real politician, if you can't take their money and drink their alcohol and vote against them. Who are you kidding? Nobody votes against them, right? Capuano actually did on many occasions, to his great credit, but nonetheless, it is at least the appearance of corruption. And that's exactly why the Just Democrats don't take corporate PAC money. That's why we got to get money out of politics. Because you don't even want to be thinking, okay, Capuano was great on the war and he was great on ICE, but is he secretly looking out for the real estate companies, right? So you don't want that lingering in your head. So don't take corporate PAC money. If you do, you might lose, especially in a blue district in a primary. Although now, of course, Just Democrats, Our Revolution, have won in many, many red districts as well. So you better watch yourself.
So Capuano, real quick, most of his money came from large donors. 51% of his money came from large donors. 41% came from PACs. Small donors, only 4% of his money came from.
See, that's another problem, right? Because you lose your connection to the people. Whereas for Just Democrats, the overwhelming majority of their money, well, almost all of it comes from small donors. Some will cap out at $2,700, but most will be under $200. Overwhelming majority will be under $200. You know, I think in the Ocasio-Cortez race, she was at over 80% or so that was under $200, and Crowley was at either 1% or 2%.
There were none of the congressmen who were above 11% were small donations.
I mean, think about it. Look at that number. Look at how stunning that is. That none of the Democratic congressmen have more than 11% of their money from people giving them under $200. They've lost their connection to real Americans completely. And so that's why when progressives primary them, now they're winning more and more and more. And there's also momentum. So, you know, Ocasio-Cortez is considered the start of that momentum, to be fair to the other wonderful candidates that won earlier, like Kara Eastman and so many others, Amar Campa-Najjar, and that now might take Duncan Hunter Jr.'s seat, etc. That actually momentum started and helped Ocasio-Cortez win. Ocasio-Cortez breaks through in a big way. Then Andrew Gillum, I think, was a huge turning point. Now, Gillum is not a Just Democrat, but he's a solid progressive on the issues. And when Gillum won, as we were covering it last election live, I predicted, as John asked me to predict, I said, no, finally the headlines are going to turn around. They're not going to be dismissive. They're going to say, wow, progressives have started to win. And that is what happened. And now the next election, primary election that we're covering, here they are again, even Politico with a positive headline.
Yeah.
Because the momentum has swung, and they can see that it has swung. And keep this in mind, especially for the mainstream media in Washington, they care about power. If you have power, they will bend to you. Now, generally speaking, in their whole lifetimes, over 20 years I've been covering politics, money was power, period. So they bent towards money and power in a way that is really unfortunate but understandable. Now they're beginning to bend a little bit back in this direction, and that's wonderful, and tonight's gonna help a lot.
Yeah. I see a tweet from Elizabeth Warren. Congrats to Ayanna Pressley and her team for a hard-fought primary win. Ayanna and I have worked together for years, and she's a fierce advocate and powerful force for change. I'm looking forward to fighting alongside her in Congress. Pretty awesome.
Yeah. That's what victory looks like.
Huffington Post headline, left stunner in Massachusetts.
Yeah. I don't know when they're going to stop saying stunner.
Stunner.
Yeah, perhaps.
Well, he's been in Congress for a long time, so it's going to be a stunner either way.
No, and it's great overall, don't get me wrong. It's wonderful, it's good headline, etc. But you know that we have achieved success when it's no longer stunning, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and they're like, another progressive wins, of course, right? Another uncorrupted candidate on the left wins, what else would happen? Right, mm-hmm. and at some point it might swing so much they start to be derisive towards corporate Democrats, right? Woo, stunner! Corporate Democrat wins. One of the last ones remaining.
Yeah.
Let us whisper of that dream. Jimmy, shall we whisper?
Whisper dream.
The whispering has begun.